In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie in the morning while I'm driving. Ronnie, I really come alive when it's time for Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie. Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for Ronnie Q. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie. She can't be beat. Sweet, sweet Ronnie.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Thank you guys for being here. Black Pearl. Thank you for being here. Chakra King Black. Truth and Reason. It is good to see you. I hope you guys hit the like button on your way in. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, who knows? Who can guess what this person did that has him slated for someone that I want to talk about as being great, a great inventor? Can you guys guess what this guy possibly invented? I'll give you guys a second. No guesses? No guesses? You guys are not going to try to figure out why this guy is a moment that should be recognized in Black history excellence? No, nothing? Nobody? The pocket watch. That, you know, that is a good answer. The reason I ask you guys because back in those days, it took a lot to be able to take a photograph. So people didn't come. They came with their best on. So his outfit is I want you to guess his outfit, if you understand what it took to take a picture, how expensive it was, and how it wasn't a normal thing. People came with their best on. So when you're going out in your best, even not it, I didn't say it was brand new, but when you're going out with your best, you prepare yourself in a certain manner, and your clothes are done up a certain way, and you got to make sure your clothes are right. So you're on the right avenue. Any more guesses? No more guesses. No more guesses. I have 18 people in the chat. None of you guys want to guess. Truth and Reason gave it one guess. I guess no one wants to guess. Okay, since you guys don't want to guess, let me give you another. Uh, let me give you the real information. And I thought, but of course, this is Thomas Jennings. So I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna let you know exactly who Thomas Jennings was, and why I chose him for a person I want to highlight this Black History Day. Where is it? Here he is, right here. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Okay. Did you know that dry cleaning was invented in 1821 by a black man named Thomas Jennings? Thomas Jennings owned a dry cleaning business in New York City and was the first black man in the United States to be granted a patent. This is the first black man to be granted a patent. He was a African American tradesman and an abolitionist in New York. He operated and owned a tailoring business in 1821. He was one of the first African Americans to the writing be granted a patent for his method of dry cleaning. So here we go.
That dry cleaning was invented in 18. Did you know that dry cleaning was invented in 1821 by a black man named Thomas Jennings? Thomas Jennings owned a dry cleaning business in New York City and was the first black man in the United States to be granted a patent. Thomas L. Jennings was an African American tradesman and abolitionist in New York. He operated and owned a tailoring business. In 1821, he was one of the first African Americans to be granted a patent for his method of dry cleaning. Dr. Joseph Jackson holds 6 U.S. patents.
Okay, so I'll give us a bonus. Let's find out who Dr. Joseph Jackson is. 1929, holds 6 U.S. Let me make sure my mic is on. Yes, he holds 6 U.S. patents for telecommunications, fertility prediction inventions. Jackson's first patent was for his contribution to a V-chip device that allowed users to block selected content on cable television. On cable television in I think he was born in 1929 and he must still be alive. I was just like, wait Okay, on cable television. This type of technology is commonly used for parental controls. He also holds a patent for the TV remote control devices. Y'all don't realize how great we are. Do y'all realize that the black man invented the remote control that some of y'all live by? Remember, y'all, we used to have to get up and change the channel on the TV and turn the dial on the TV. Let me see if they say anything else about this gentleman.
Patents for telecommunications and fertility prediction inventions. Jackson's first patent was for his contribution to a V-chip device that allowed users to block selected content on cable television. This type of technology is commonly used for parental controls. He also holds patent for the TV remote control devices.
Okay, so I think I've already talked to you guys about Granville T. Woods. One more, because this name is familiar to me.
Granville T. Woods developed the railroad telegraph.
He was the black man who invented the first roller coaster. Did y'all know that the roller coaster was invented by a black man? I knew that name was familiar. Okay, here we go.
Device that transmitted messages through static electricity between moving trains, telephone transmitter, railway system, subway system, roller coaster, and many more. Lonnie Johnson.
Okay, so today in Black History. Now, wasn't that interesting? Let me see what you guys have to say. Hey, T. Evans, thank you for being here. Aisha, pronounced Aisha. We are fire. Wow, we are the ish. Yes, we are. Ronnie Q, Google Paul Bogle after you're live. They use the same pitch for Thomas Jennings and Paul Bogle. Paul Bogle is one of the Jamaican national heroes that fought to help free us from slavery. Let me Google it now. Paul Bogle, Bogle. Let me see. Let me see. Sure is the same picture. The painting, it is, yeah, even the that is Paul Bogle, a Jamaican national hero who led the last large-scale armed rebellion for voting rights and into legal discrimination and economic oppression against African Jamaicans. You are absolutely right. That's weird. They definitely use the same picture. Let me share my screen with you guys. Thank you for showing me that. Let me show you the picture. Here is the picture. Let me enlarge it. Same picture. Paul Bogle led the last large-scale armed Jamaican rebellion for voting rights and to end legal discrimination and economic oppression against African Jamaicans. Because of his efforts, Bogle was recognized as a national hero in Jamaica in 1969. His face appears on the Jamaican $2 bill and 10-cent coin. So obviously, they have the wrong picture on. Obviously, they have the wrong picture here for Thomas Jennings, because This is the exact same picture. Thank you for telling me that, and we get to hear some more good information about black, uh, great man in Black history. He was born free to Cecilia Bogle, a free woman, and an unknown father in the St. Thomas Parish in 1822. His mother soon died. He was raised by his grandfather. As an adult, Bogle owned a home in Stonygut, another and another house in Spring Gardens. Oh man, he had property. Wait a minute, and another house in Spring Garden, as well as a 500-acre farm at Dunrobin, making him one of the few African Jamaicans prosperous enough to pay the fee to vote. Oh. In 1845, for example, there were only 104 voters in St. Thomas Parish, which had an adult population of at least $3,300. He became a supporter of George William Gordon, a Afro-Jamaican politician and fellow landowner and Baptist. In 1854, Gordon made the 32-year-old Bogle a deacon. Bogle, in turn, built a chapel in Stonygut, which he held religious and political meetings. Officially, Jamaican slavery ended in 1833 after the Sam Sharp Rebellion a year earlier. Yet from 1834 to 1838, former slaves served post servitude and apprenticeships. Kind of like when we were freed, and why we actually have Juneteenth, because some slave owners didn't tell us that we were free for years later, kind of like that. But it sounds like they knew they were free, so they just said, well, they're not our slaves. We're just giving them apprenticeships. The apprenticeship to their former's armor. They were also subject to a judicial system controlled by the colonial government, primarily for the benefit of the former slaveholders. Of course, they were. They endured unemployment and taxes, but low wages. In 1865, Gordon chose Bogle to lead a delegation to represent their complaints to the British colonial governor, Edward John Erie. In August of that year, he led a march of 50 small farmers and former slaves to the Spanish towns to meet with Governor Erie to discuss their political grievances. They were denied an audience with the governor 2 months later. After that attempted meeting, Morat Bay Revolution started, sparked by an arrest of a supporter of Bogle for protesting the conviction of another Black Jamaican for trespassing on a long abandoned plantation. Bogle and his supporters attended the trespassing trial in October 7th. Shortly afterwards, when the colonial officers attempted to arrest the Bogle supporter who had also attended the trial, he was immediately freed by Bogle and other supporters. They said, "Not today, motherfucker." They stood up to the crooked cops. He was immediately freed. They ain't let him get arrested. Then they forced colonial police to release the man convicted of trespassing in the first place. Returning to Stonygut, Bogle and his supporters learned that warrants had been issued for the arrest of 28 men for rioting in Spanish Town. You gonna let us illegally arrest you on your bullshit, and how dare you think you're gonna get away with it? In October of 1865, Bogle and his brother Moses led a protest march of nearly 300 people from Stonygut to Mount Bay Courthouse in Spanish Town. They were confronted this time by the colonial militia, who opened fire on them, killing several protesters. The protesters retaliated by killing a parish official, Baron von Keltendolt. The 15 militia members. Oh, Baron Van Coltenwall, and 15 militia members. They set 51 prisoners free. Colonial soldiers were now brought to Morat Bay to crush the revolution. Nearly 500 people were killed, and a greater number were flogged before order was restored. Stony Gulch, considered the stronghold of the rebels, was destroyed. Paul and Moses Bogle were captured and hanged. Oh my God. In October 1865 at the Morant Bay Courthouse, a day after George and William Gordon, who did not participate in the rebellion, were executed. In January 1866, Royal Commission was sent from London to investigate the rebellion. Following their investigation, the Governor Erie was dismissed as the governor of Jamaica and then charged but not convicted of murder. Jamaica became the crown colony, governed directly from England as a result of this revolution. Another moment in Black history. So we're gonna have to also remember Paul. Is it Bogle? Paul Bogle led the largest scale Jamaican rebellion for voting rights and the end to legal discrimination and economic oppression against African Jamaicans. Thank you. So pretty much it seems like they were the Jim Crow of Jamaica, and when they had the audacity to stand up to them, they fought back, and then they had one of those quick trials and where they hung them out. Sometimes in United States, all you had to do was get arrested, and they didn't wait for a trial. They would let the Klan come in the middle of the night because most likely, like still today, you have these white nationalists that are on all mixed in with police and all that type of stuff, and they were railroaded. Much like today, a lot of people were being railroaded, and that is a part of our history, unfortunately, that still lingers on. So thank you guys for that information. Who gave me that information? Okay. Even the first slave owner was black. Okay. Okay, so blacks in Africa, yes, they did have slaves, but the slaves that they had in Africa was not treated or dehumanized as the slavery that happened in the United States. They were definitely treated as indentured servants. You know how the people in the States treated the indentured servants that had to work off the loan that they got to come to the United States, and they weren't whipped and SA'd and all of this type of stuff. They were working off a debt that got them to the United States. You are right. Good morning, Miss Queenie. Good morning, Red Wing Hockey. I love history, but today, what are we doing today to help humanity? What we're doing today? If you hold on, I was born in 1973 on a cold day in August, the summer. But let's help humanity. Hold on one second. Well, let me see something. Thank you, Bernice. Okay. I honestly don't know who has the wrong picture since some people it looks like the picture of the Jamaican gentleman is the right picture because it does look like the picture that is on the money as well. Because one of the things that I found, that picture does look like the same picture that's on the money. So some people think all black people look alike and are one and the same, but we in Jamaica know that pic as Paul Bogle, one of our national heroes. I think that that is actually the correct picture because it is actually one of the pictures when I Googled him, they had this picture and they had the picture of him on the money and it looked the same. So I don't know where they got Thomas Jennings from. I guess they think all black people look the same. Now, are we talking? No, it's Black History Month, so we're gonna spend a little. I hope you're not. Are we talking about history today? No, I just am dedicating every day of this month since they want to eliminate Black history representations uh, in the uh, Department of Defense. Uh, there's not going to be a day that I don't acknowledge the greatness of Black people. And the reason why, when they are talking about meritocracy being important and have the most unqualified person running the Defense Department, oh, and his first order was to end recognition of Black history. I thought that, we need to put it together why this is so important for the least qualified person who followed one of the most qualified Black men in this position to eliminate recognition of Black history and Juneteenth. So this is why I will not sleep on Black history at all, because once you find out all the greatness that Black people have done, been, created, you will understand why they want to squash the importance of us. I'm not going to let it happen. So that's what's going on. We have today's problems to solve. Oh, yes, we definitely have today's problems to solve. We have people who don't even vote. You are absolutely right. You have, thank you, Bernice. I appreciate you. We have people who don't vote. We have people who have voted for 45, 47, and talking about their policies, trying to act as if they're some important unicorn Negroes. This this person has gone through the government and closed down everything, has illegal access to the whole treasury payment system. The richest man in the world has everybody's information. And people are sitting around like, oh, well, he's not supposed to do that. Something should be done. But nobody's doing anything. It's to the point where it's to the point where you see where you were. You see how he had to fight for their freedoms in Jamaica. See, because if we don't stand up to this type of thing, we're going to find ourselves in the exact same situation that we were in Jim Crow. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. We sure do have work to do. That's awesome, Red Rings. Well, I didn't say you were sleeping on Black history, but I just gave you the reason why, exactly why I'm going to acknowledge the greatness of our blackness. That's why. I'm not saying you're sleeping on it, but we need. I can't go under a a pyramid in the 1960 in the 1600s and work today out now and work today now. I think you mean work today out now. No one's asking you to. No one's asking you to do any of that. But I said the reason why we are, hey, Room Shaker, hey, Miss Douglas, the why we are acknowledging the greatness of Black people from the future is because they're trying to take us back to our past. And if we recognize how great we were in our past, maybe we'll be great today and in our futures. That's what I'm saying. So too many people want to be white adjacent or unlike who they really are. That we are dealing with this in the first place. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So all of these policies, I wonder if these unicorn Negroes, when they said that they were supporting 45, 47, who never enunciated any policy that this person had, because this person ran on zero policies, when all of us sane people were out here saying that that Project 2025 was his policy. So that's why he didn't need to bother with any policies when he was running. And if we look at this actual Project 2025, he has ticked off so many of the things that were in Project 2025. So we had this man over the Department of Defense, General 4-star General Austin, over the Department of Defense, who commanded so many divisions of the Army and uh, the whole, which was it, the whole Middle East, everything in the Middle East, and then he gets replaced with this, a co-host of a weekend show from Fox. So, and all we hear is about DEI. When that helicopter and that plane collided, this numbnuts come out here and say that DEI was to blame. So, in fact, he doesn't want our merit to get us a job. Where they're talking about everything should be decided on merit. No, he doesn't want our merit to get us in a job, because they're going through and they're taking everything is DEI. It's the problem is DEI. Look at all of these things that have happened. So that's why I'm talking about history. Okay. I know they were thankful for the lunch and the blankets. I don't know what you're talking about. I know they were thankful for the lunch and the blankets. Who is they? I don't know who you're talking about, Jill. Jill, what are you talking about? Grand Rising of you is a view. I don't know what Jill's talking about. Oh, I didn't see that statement. I was going back. I'm like trying to figure out what is she talking about. I found it. On Wednesday, February 5th, Red Wing Hockeys took lunches and a blanket to people in poverty. Yes, that's a great thing. That is a great thing. But that's not going to get us out of the situation that we find ourselves in today. The things that we are faced with today, a lot of people are asleep on, don't even realize it's happening. Now, this let me hold on one second. Let me talk about some things. I'm pretty sure if you guys are up on information, you may have seen some of this. Is this the first one I want to show? Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Did you guys hear this craziness?
The people of the area do a real job.
Hold on, let me slow it down. I apologize. When I'm looking for my notes, I'm sorry. Let's go. We will take over Gaza.
Hey, would you like to be more?
Did you guys hear that he actually said that they will be taking over Gaza? And who is we? Who is we? Who is this we he speaks of? He's actually speaking about the United States will take over Gaza. Okay, so let me play this for you if you guys are not aware of this idiocy.
At least here, play this clip.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job. Do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Now, in this next clip, he says we're going to turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East, and he says America is going to send troops there. Here, play this clip.
On what you were saying about the Gazans leaving Gaza, going to other countries, one, where exactly are you suggesting that they should go? And two, are you saying they should return after it's rebuilt? And if not, who do you envision living there?
I envision the world, people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international.
Okay. So you're going to take the Palestinian land. So he's saying this out loud. We who have no authority, we're going to take the Palestinian land and get the people out of there. And then the question was asked, who's going to live there? What do you mean? The world people are going to live there. The world people. Who the fuck are you talking? Do you hear this incoherent type of babble? Okay, let's continue.
Well, unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And
Spoken like a true slumlord. Spoken like a true person who preys on peoples and their neighborhoods and take and steal their land from them, either by it be eminent domain, undercutting them for the price of their property, a whole slumlord, a land baroner. Let's continue.
And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people.
So now she said Palestinians also. Palestinians also. So you're going to remove them from their own land, and you want to have us. You're going to create it into something beautiful, but the world people will live there. Well, how come you just not making it beautiful because it was torn down? Are we just going to pretend like this was land? They had so many ancient fucking they had so many ancient artifacts in Palestine that was just summarily bombed the fuck out. So are we gonna act like that they have no history? Like they were pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed on to this small little strip of land as Israel, it kept encroaching on their Palestinian land that Israel is on itself. We're gonna pretend like we don't know any of this. I guess some people don't know any of this. I guess people thought that this didn't have anything to do with us as we sent all of this money over to Israel, as we sat here silently and watch them totally mutilate and create genocide on these people. And now the best thing that this 45-47 can come out and do is talk about what we are going to do with their land. We, the United States. Let's continue.
People will live there, but they've tried the other, and they've tried it for decades and decades and decades. It's not going to work. It didn't work. It will never work.
They tried the other. What is the other? They tried the other, and it didn't work for decades and decades. What is the other that they tried? They tried squeezing them into a open air prison. They tried that. The other. They tried to have ceasefires that would be broken. And all during the ceasefires, they were shot. Listen, we're going to ignore, it's the Palestinian, these poor people's fault. Let's continue.
This is utterly disgusting and despicable stuff that we're observing right here. By the way, if you even start looking at Netanyahu, even Netanyahu starts looking like, are you really saying this right now publicly? Here, Donald Trump is asked by a reporter, so are you talking about troops? Are you talking about a permanent occupation? Listen to what Donald Trump says. Let's play it.
I know we all bought this cheese grater recently. We'll get rid of it. This one right here puts all the others to.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister. You are talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there, redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a longer peace, even though the Israeli people know how important that land is to you and your citizens, just as the space is inherited by the Palestinians as well?
I do see a long-term.
Who cares how important Netanyahu understands how important that land is to him and his people. He needs to understand how important the land is to the Palestinians. She couldn't even get the sentence out right, just broaching her fucking words. It's important to both of them. But they think that their importance and what they want to do with the land and fuck what happens to the people. So did y'all see this boldness that was on display in the White House? And we sit around these motherfuckers who were Trump, who was talking all that 45-47 are quiet now. How come these idiots who were trying to have something to argue about, to the point that they were trying to argue about the merits of this person prior to the election, are absolutely silent now? Jesus. Let's continue.
Long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land, developing and creating thousands of jobs with something that will be magnificent.
Now, here, Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, he's even saying, well, I think Donald Trump's looking into things. Netanyahu realizes that what Donald Trump just said out loud is going to literally implode the entire world and cause massive issues internationally with respect to everything. Here, play this clip.
I mentioned.
Okay, so now he's like, what? Well, I think he has this thought out a little further. In other words, we ain't never talked about this shit. This dummy is coming out here on the cuff, acting as if he can do whatever he wants to all over the world. He's not going to put his name behind it. But let's already understand that there is an arrest warrant out for Netanyahu. He won't go to certain countries. And you got your for-profit media out there pursing their words to say, to not make it seem like the Palestinian land is important to the Palestinians, and don't you have enough of their land that you're living on? Why can't you live next to your neighbors in peace? None of this is talked about here. Let's continue.
Mention again tonight. Our 3 goals. And the third goal is to make sure that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again. President Trump is taking it to a much higher level. He sees a different future for that piece of land that has been the focus of so much terrorism, so many attacks against us, so many trials and so many tribulations. He has a different idea. And I think it's worth paying attention to this. We're talking about it. He's exploring it with his people, with his staff. I think it's something.
I bet none of his staff have heard any of this. He said he has a different idea. I think it's worth exploring it. But 4547 presented it as if they had already explored it and agreed upon it together. And he letting you know, hey, that's his idea. That's his idea. He and his people are talking about it. How would Netanyahu know that 4547 and his people are talking about this? He doesn't have his full cabinet confirmed. Who the fuck he talking to it with about? Him and Elon Musk? Is that his people? He got to get Elon Musk approval to do whatever the fuck he want to do. Let's keep it a buck. But let's continue.
Something that could change history, and it's worthwhile really pursuing this avenue.
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
A reporter then asks Donald Trump about Afghanistan and the Afghanistan situation. Donald Trump says to the reporter that you have a beautiful voice. And then he says, I don't understand anything you said. Here, play this clip.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
As our expectation from you. Do you have any plan to change Afghanistan situation? Are you able to recognize Taliban? Because I'm an Afghan journalist, Afghan suffrage woman. Any comment about Afghanistan? What's your future plan for Afghan people, especially Afghanistan?
I have a little hard time understanding you. Where are you from? Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand the word you're saying. But I just say this, good luck. Libby's. Go ahead, please.
This is quite literally, folks, the craziest press conference I've seen. This is Donald Trump once again. He says it over and over again. U.S. troops in Gaza. We're bringing the troops into Gaza. Listen to what he says. Play this clip.
And Mr. President, given what you've said about Gaza, did the U.S. send troops to help secure the security evacuation?
So Saudi Arabia is going to be very helpful, and they have been very helpful. They want peace in the Middle East. It's very simple. We know their leader and their leaders very well. They're wonderful people, and they want peace in the Middle East.
Of course, you know their leaders pretty well. Didn't they give Jared Kushner $3 billion after you were defeated in 2020? Of course, you know their leader. So they asked him about troops, and he said Saudi Arabia is going to help them. So are you going to put Pete Sedgwick over the Saudi military? Is that what you're saying? So you are saying that Saudi Arabia is in on this with you. Do they know this? This is a lot. Okay, so I dropped a link. Let me see if there's anything else I want you guys to hear from this. So this was the press conference heard all over the world. Didn't MU with her dumb ass say that the reason why she was voting, the one thing that this idiot had to say, he aligns to how I live my life. Exactly what did he say? What did he put forth on the campaign that aligns with you and how you live your life? She couldn't answer. But he's not going into a whole lot of wars. Oh no. Okay, so do you guys realize that this past weekend there was a strike, a U.S. strike on Somalia that is hardly being covered? Do you guys realize that with the closing of U.S. aid, they are talking about 45, 47. I showed you the clip on, I think it was yesterday, how he said it's a lot of bad things going on in South Africa. They are treating the people real very badly, and something has to be done, and we're going to go in there and we're going to collect this. Who's from South Africa? David Peel. Who is David Peel? David Peel is the one who financed a tech giant who financed JD Vance to being a senator. So who is JD Vance? JD Vance is the vice president. Who is David Peel? David Peel is one of the oligarchs who was sitting up there in front of the Trump's cabinet at the inauguration. Elon Musk, where is Elon Musk from? David Peel is also from South Africa. Elon Musk is from South Africa. What is that other guy's name? One of these other oligarchs from who was sitting at the inauguration is from South Africa. So what's going on in South Africa that now, as our government is being torn apart, this motherfucker wants us to sit up here and act like something should be done in South Africa. What's being done in South Africa is that South Africans are taking land to be used as public lands. So they're acting like they're stealing land from their oppressors, and that is so horrible. You cannot, people. Why do they care about property more than people? So the simple fact that the South African government is now readjusting land rights for the public. Now it's a big deal. They're going in and they're unaliving farmers and they're doing this, that, and the other. So propaganda. So we are living on a steady flow of propaganda. And it is everything is against Black people. Everything is against Black and brown people. You notice that? The white man must rule. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. What does this tweet says?
Now that Trump announced,
I'm sure Americans at home and abroad all feel safer tonight that 45-47 announced with Netanyahu that the U.S. is going to take over Gaza, level all the buildings, and forcibly remove the population. Might want to cancel any vacation plans you may have to Europe. So, that's
announced with Benjamin Netanyahu that the U.S. is going to take over Gaza, level all of the buildings, and forcibly remove the population. You might want to cancel any.
Now,
yeah, and I'm just like, okay, so how does a 61-year-old guy?
Are a few questions that I wanted you to hear as well. Hold on, here we go. I wanted you to hear a little of these questions as well.
Clip.
What would happen if you hear from the Israelis?
Give me a Nobel.
What would happen?
So he says he think that he's gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize for this, dragging people who have been let's continue.
I deserve it, but they will never give it to me.
And as we said on the Midas Touch,
I deserve it. You deserve it after you just said that you go drag people off their land, never to return. And Palestinian, the world people, we're going to give their land to the world, and the world people can be there. Okay.
Touch account. Trump during the election, no new wars. Trump after the inauguration, we're going to send the United States military to conquer Gaza, Greenland, Canada, Mexico, and the Panama Canal. Folks,
he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Where's the peace? I'm just flabbergasted that in what terms are we sitting up here watching the barons rob the bank, throw people out of their offices, lock people out of their computers, send job notices to people telling them don't show up to work, offering them money for 6 to 8 months if they resign from their job. And this is what's going on in the United States. So they tried to shut off all federal funding, but they were stopped from these three times from judges, and the final judge said, no, there is no get around from this. We mean all 50 states. You cannot do any of the things that you plan to, because this money has been allocated by Congress to go to the places where it's going. So what happens then? So what happens then? Now that his Department of Treasury, who just came in, give all the permission to a non-elected person, Elon Musk, who doesn't work for the government, but who has so much interest in knowing these top government secrets. But they asked the White House press secretary, has Elon Musk and his team, this team of people, have they even undergone any high level clearances to even be able to look at the information that the Treasury Secretary gave him the keys to? All of your social security numbers, your banking numbers, your address, your contact information, everything. How much everybody's getting paid. Okay, so Congress said that the judge said that no, you cannot stop any of these payments. But what did Elon Musk say? Elon Musk said he came in and he saw a lot of waste, and he's going to stop payments over an actual judge. That's what he said. Okay. So you're right. We have a lot of big problems in the United States. And a lot of people don't understand how huge these problems really are in the United States. He's going to stop payments. Is he going to stop the payments that are going to SpaceX and to Tesla, that welfare queen? Does he see any waste, fraud, and abuse about those payments that come from the Treasury? I'm sure not. I'm sure he doesn't. But his competitors, I think that he may see some problems with them getting their money. Do you understand that this is a conflict of interest? Okay, so another thing. He is the owner of a company where he can't get high-level clearance at his own company, SpaceX, because the Navy does not trust him to have the high-level clearance that some of his own workers have. But you mean to tell me they can't tell you if this motherfucker has gone through a high-level clearance and he got all the fucking Treasury information? You guys, do you, see? It's not that I didn't warn everybody about this. I heard that dumbass Flicker talking about, oh, Ronnie Q, she had a nervous breakdown because Kamala lost the election. No, I didn't have a nervous breakdown because of anything. You had a nervous breakdown because you sitting up here talking about the election, bitch, when you say you don't even vote, you dumb hoe. Who had the nervous breakdown, bitch? I told you what was going to happen, and this is happening. I played so many times that they had planned to create chaos in the first 180 days to the point, in my opinion, that by this is day 16 of their administration. This is day 16. And let's not forget that the which department that he is over. Which department? Which department was that they fired all these? Let me go through my notes. Hold on. The Interior, I think it was the Department of Interior that he fired all of these people. They are actually investigating Musk. They are actually, is it the Interior Department? Hold on. Hold on. Let me look at my notes. And these are the watchdog agencies of all of the monies that are spent. But where did he go? What did he do? They went, that's was the agency that they fired them in the middle of the night last Friday. Let me see. Where is it? It's the IO. What is the IO? Inspector, I forget what it is. God dang it. And I can't find it on my notes. Do you guys remember me telling you guys about that? They fired them in the middle of the night. Let me see. Maybe you guys may remember. These are the watchdog groups. And they have actually have a case against Elon Musk. So what happens? Elon Musk goes up there and fire all of the people and takes over. What is this? Hold on one second. Inspector Generals. The Inspector Generals. That's who they have a actual case about out on Musk. And in the middle of the night, these inspectors generals were fired. And who has taken over their agency? None other than Musk and his underlings. So I gave you that. So who, you may ask, are Musk's underlings? Oh, God damn it. Hold on. Who are his underlings? So they asked about who was working under Musk, and 4547 said that they are some great people. Oh shit. They are some great people, and I think it's right here. I think it's right here. When you find out what exactly does 4547 even know about these people who are going into people's offices, do these people even know how the government works? Because I want you to hear what 4547 says that he knows about Musk team.
Why LA women aren't going to the gym.
Is this your
I want you to hear from his own words. Okay. And then I'm going to tell you exactly who these people are.
Fight to have Democrats bring the fight on the streets as well. Democrats going in front of the USAID building to bring attention to Donald Trump and Elon Musk's unlawful actions to shut down USAID and to take control over the Treasury Department payment systems. Let me just show you what's going down. First, Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett had an incredible appearance last night on CNN. I want to show you this clip. Let's play it.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel away and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder.
At the same time she was making that appearance, you had MAGA Republican Senator Kennedy. He went on Fox, and this is what he had to say. Play the clip.
Let me try to put all this in context for you. I like omelets. I mean, I really like omelets. I could eat an omelet at every meal. I like omelets better than sex. Not really, but
Who came in the dark of the night in a takeover that is evil, who came in the dark of the night, has called USAID a criminal organization, and yet he is the one who came in the dark of the night and it's
Okay, she's talking about Elon Musk. They had a lot of the congressmen had a rally. This is the oversight committee that went to the Treasury Department to speak to the Department of Treasury, this new Department of Treasury. And you know what happened? They got turned away. They would not let them in the building. The oversight committee of elected officials got turned away because the Treasury secretary said that he was too busy. So they had an impromptu rally because they could not even get in. Your elected officials who are on oversight of the fucking branch of government that holds the fucking money, who holds the motherfucking information. They said that they had been seeing, they have a look-only permission. Allegedly, this Musk team of people have a look and see only, do not touch. But they said that they have been shoving so many hard drives demanding to know from different people who work in the Treasury Department, allegedly demanding to know exactly how they have coded this system and that system. These are fucking computer geeks that Musk have. Okay, let's continue.
takeover that is illegal.
Next up, I want to show you Democratic Congressman Olszewski. Play the clip.
And most importantly, it's jeopardizing our safety here at home. Prison guards overseeing thousands of ISIS combatants in Syria walked off the job after their pay was frozen until a waiver was thrown together after the fact. Let me say that again. Prisoner guards overseeing thousands of ISIS combatants walked off the job. This is real life, this is serious, and this is dangerous.
And as Democrats are fighting for U.S. aid to exist, to allow for needed supplies to get to children abroad, or else those kids could die who depend on this aid, to get medication to people suffering from major illnesses abroad. That's one of the things that USAID does. You've got MAGA Republicans all saying, shut it down. There's insubordination at USAID. Insubordination? Y'all out of nowhere just said you're going to shut this important, critical, vital agency down, and you're going to what? Go after women who are pregnant with HIV/AIDS as USA tries to stop the transmission to their babies? Are you guys sick? Here, play this clip of Rubio.
I think they're a global entity and that their master is the globe and not the United States. And that's not what the statute says, and that's not sustainable.
Can it be reformed or does it need to die?
Well, that was always the goal, was to reform it. But now we have rank insubordination. Now.
Okay, so Yeah, y'all meant to reform it, but you bust in the door firing all of the people. There was no reform about it. What did Elon Musk said that something about you try to go in and you try to reform a place because it's like a apple that has a worm in it, but then you realize that there is nothing but a ball of worm and there is no apple. We are in day 16. When was all of this reform happened? They bust in the door saying that it's a leftist propaganda machine and it's a Marxist operation, and they said they spent $50 million on condoms for the Palestinian people. $50 million is the lie that they said that they spent on condoms for the Palestinian. And then 45-47 then came out and doubled the lie and said that they spent $100 million on condoms. And this is just a waste of time. And that has been found to be a unapologetic lie. It has been found to be just total false about some condoms. But this is what your representative that people sat on their asses and didn't vote. So this is who we have in office. Just doubling millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars to say that this aid operation was giving this $100 million for condoms for people in Palestine. The same Palestine where he says that we are going to take over. We as Americans who have absolutely no jurisdiction over Palestinian land. So now we're grabbing land all over the world under what permission, under what guise, but we just throw it out. And if we connect Palestinians, of course people are going to rebuff and be like, oh no, we must shut down the whole agency. Just say a couple of words and say Palestinian. Just say a couple of words and say DEI, and you're going to have people behind you. Just say any type of crazy thing and just put DEI, Palestinian, any disenfranchised people behind it, and you will get support. Let's continue. Okay, let me continue.
We have basically an active effort where their basic attitude is we don't work for anyone. We work for ourselves. No agency of government can tell us what to do.
All right, let me give you the full clip right now of Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. This is incredible. Let's play it.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel away and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come into, say, these PWIs, as we call them, don't allow them to come into these institutions. We know why they created the HBCUs in the first place. It was because they wouldn't allow us into the white institutions. And so now they're not allowing us in. And now they're saying, you know what, we're also going to defund the HBCUs. You know why? Because they don't want any more Kamala Harrises. They don't want any more Jasmine Crockett's. But I got news for them. I don't care what they do. We will fight to the end to make sure that we get our due. Because again, if you want to talk about the people that shouldn't be in this country, you probably need to look in the mirror. Because the last time I checked, the Native Americans who some of ICE have been rounding up, or the Puerto Ricans who are absolutely Americans. Listen, the only people that came and colonized this place are your ancestors, Trump.
More from Congresswoman Crockett. Let's play it.
President Trump is appointing Darren Beattie to a top State Department role.
Okay, now Darren Beattie got fired from his role working for 45-47. Now he has been he is giving him a top state official role. Why was he fired when he was 47 speech writer in his first term for all of his racist activities, meeting with neo-Nazis and all of this? And since he has been fired, it only has gotten worse, allegedly. But now he's getting a better position, not just a speechwriter. He's getting a top level job in the State Department. And you had dumb Negroes on here talking about the greatness of 45, 47. You had dumb Negroes on here talking about they didn't vote and who's upset because Harris lost. If you had any brains, you'd be upset as well. Are these idiots upset about what's going on in our nation today? No, they don't know. They don't know because they are so wrapped up in is Lemon and what Lemon Mama did, and is it a play? Trying to be so acute and so up to date with the real important things. Is Lemon gay? Ugh, Shabbat.
Many people remember who Darren Beattie is. He was fired in 2018 for being a speechwriter. He was speaking at a conference attended by white nationalists. And then a few months ago, he posted this, Congresswoman. Competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work. Unfortunately, our entire national ideology is predicated on coddling the feelings of women and minorities and demoralizing competent white men. He just got a better job in the State Department. Be in charge if you want things to work. Unfortunately, our entire national ideology is predicated on coddling the feelings of women and minorities and demoralizing competent white men.
Drinking warm water before bed helps.
Y'all thought I was lying? Y'all thought I was lying? I didn't even know that this was the one with the clip of that idiot in there. Hold on, let me get past this commercial. What do you guys think about this? These are the people who are being rewarded and are so. Excuse me if I take a little moment out to tell you about the great people in Black history, because they don't want you to be able to go to college. They want you to have the Black jobs. Let's continue.
Competent white men. Your reaction to his appointment?
He needs to go. I mean, this is very simple. We right now have a white supremacist that is sitting in the White House. He is backed up by other white supremacists. And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within. Here is the problem.
Of course, Congresswoman, to interrupt you, but President Trump, of course, has denied any allegations of the white supremacists, and that's why he apparently fired what he. I know your point, but he did fire Darren Beattie in reaction, they believe, in part to his attendance at that conference. Does that change your opinion in any way?
No, it doesn't change my opinion because we.
Why would it change her appearance? Her opinion? He fired him for that. But he has rehired him back in the State Department at a high-level job in the State Department. So why would it change her opinion? Her opinion is fact.
We saw what he literally recently just posted, and the coddling is for the white boys. That's what's happening right now. I am tired of the white tears.
So again, take that and contrast that with what the MAGA Republicans are out there saying this morning. You've got MAGA Republican Representative Alford, who talks about the fact that now China has imposed retaliatory tariffs on the United States against liquefied natural gas, against coal. China has launched an investigation into Google, a retaliatory investigation. And now China is specifically going to be attacking certain sectors of America's economy in response to Donald Trump's tariffs. Donald Trump did not; those tariffs were not removed. So a trade war now is initiated with China, which is going to cause a lot of harm. I mean, these trade wars are very costly. But here you have MAGA Republican Representative Alford talks about the pain Americans are going to feel, right? And as you listen to this, he says like, well, we got through it last time by, and you'll hear that he starts to kind of jumble his words and give a bunch of words.
Yeah, because any pain. That's why he was jumbling his words, because he's trying to give an example that well, y'all bear down with us. It's going to cost you more, but I'm not going to feel the pain. You poor people are going to feel the pain. As Elon Musk goes through the coffers and says which of you are allowed to get the money that has been allotted to you by your state representatives.
Word salad, because what he's actually saying is what had to happen because of Trump's last trade war with China is that the American government had to subsidize a lot of American farmers who weren't able to send their product out because of the trade war Donald Trump initiated. So the only way the farmers are surviving is with government handouts. And at the same time, the MAGA Republicans want that for their red states. But when it comes to basic necessities for other people, they don't want that. And all this is being created by Trump's unnecessary trade wars or his fake trade wars. Let's play this clip.
What about China? What are your thoughts on this tariff war now that's underway between the U.S. and China?
Well, look, as some of the administration says, this is going to cause a little bit of pain. This happened back when President Trump was in office the first time. The tariffs that affected our farming community, we made up those losses to our farming community with the Commodity Credit Corporation under the USDA. We will find the money to make this right, but this is going to have a little bit of pain. But in the long term, it is going to mean that fewer of our citizens die and that we end up winning this war on fentanyl. Look,
here's more from MAGA Republican Congressmember Alford right now. Let's play it.
So the whole country has to play into paying higher prices for everything. When you came into office saying that you were going to reduce prices because people are overdosing on fentanyl. Would you have done that if it was the crack cocaine? What tariffs were put on anybody during the crack cocaine epidemic? No tariffs. So who's dying more from these fentanyl ODs? So we are supposed to rationalize it because people are dying from their drug addictions. White people. A majority of white people. And why are they addicted to these street drugs in the first place? Because you guys didn't regulate Big Pharma, who was sending out all of these codeine and all of this pain pill that got them hooked in the first place. But now everybody has to, and less people are dying. So you should feel okay about paying more under the person who is putting these false emergency tariffs up. This is supposed to be the tariff against Mexico, against Canada, and against China are all emergency tariffs that are put in place because of the fentanyl epidemic. Okay, I'm going to go a little forward in this. I'm done with this dumb shit that this motherfucker's talking right here. Okay, let me see what Warnos is saying.
Go wild. Of all the things that I can think of that I'd like to, at a rally a few months ago, Donald Trump said that he was going to allow Mr. Robert Kennedy to, quote, go wild on health. Go wild. Of all the things that I can think of that I'd like to see a Secretary of Health and Human Services do, go wild is not on the list. Mr. Robert Kennedy is manifestly unqualified for the job he seeks. And in both my live and written questions for the record, he failed to commit to protecting access to affordable health care, failed to commit to protecting the people who are protecting us. The problem that the CDC has is that every day these noble civil servants and workers protect us from dangers that we don't see. And often you don't get credit. for protecting people from things that they don't see. I simply do not trust him to oversee the CDC. He's unqualified, and I dare say everybody here knows it.
But here are all the Republican senators right here voting for Warnock. Let's play it.
You know, foreign assistance is about 1% of our entire federal budget. And maybe before coming after USAID, Republicans should look at all the billions and billions of dollars in tax breaks and subsidies that they give to oligarchs like Elon Musk. You want to save some money? Well, let's start there. And hey, while we're at it, hey, Elon, pay your fair share of taxes. What is happening right now across the government is that an unelected billionaire is trying to gut the government so he can give other billionaires a tax break. And our answer is hell no.
And finally, let me show you Democratic Congress member Jim McGovern in front of the USAID building. Play it.
That the committee favorably report the nomination of the Honorable Robert F. Kennedy Jr. of California to be Secretary of Health and Human Services. Is there a second? There is a second. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Grassley. Aye. Mr. Grassley, aye. Mr. Cornyn. Aye. Mr. Cornyn, aye. Mr. Thune. Aye. Mr. Thune, aye. Mr. Scott. Aye. Mr. Scott, aye. Mr. Cassidy. Aye. Mr. Cassidy, aye. Mr. Langford. Aye. Mr. Langford, aye. Mr. Daines. Aye. Mr. Daines, aye. Mr. Young. Mr. Young, aye. Mr. Barrasso. Mr. Barrasso, aye. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, aye. Mr. Tillis. Mr. Tillis, aye. Mrs. Blackburn. Mrs. Blackburn, aye. Mr. Marshall.
The reason I went to Nuvia in the first
And so I guess he's been confirmed. So you hear all the ayes. Let me get past this commercial. I think that is, he got those clips mixed up. He wanted you to see the first one first, and then he wanted you to see what the last man had to say in front of the USAID building. So his clips were mixed up.
You've been seeing some of these memes out there that we've been posting. I think they're so appropriate. There's this one right here, Trump versus Canada and Mexico, where Trump goes, I'm going to put 25% tariffs on you. And then Trudeau and Sheinbaum go, why? And Trump goes, no idea. What are you going to do about it? And they go, I don't know, nothing. And then Trump goes, another MAGA win, tariff suspended.
Okay. Let's talk about these tariffs that he was going to put down 25% on Mexico and China. And your for-profit media has been telling you that Justin Trudeau and what's her name, Truban from Mexico, the Mexican president, they rushed to Trump to make a deal, and they said that they would do these things to stop the tariffs. But what your for-profit media is not telling you is that what Canada offered is something that they had already agreed to in December of 2020 under Biden's administration. They have it in writing. They have the press briefings in December of 2020. And what 4547 wants you to believe that he got Justin Trudeau to agree to is nothing that he had not already said he was going to do. What they got the president of Mexico to agree to, she's going to send 10,000 troops to the border. Nothing they had not already been doing. You know what else about these 10,000 troops that she's going to have at the border? There's actually 15,000 of their troops at the border now. So they want you to believe that him threatening us to be more indebted and that he got a win out of them. He got no win. But they're playing it at, why are they playing this as a win? For-profit media. I don't know.
And here's another meme of Trudeau reaching out to Sheinbaum. So I offered him what we've already been doing, and he dropped the tariffs. And then she goes, oh my God, same. Meanwhile, the people in Canada are still pissed that America currently boycotting all American products and goods in Canada.
Okay, so I'm done with that. Let me see what you guys are saying. I don't want to ignore my chat. Good morning, kind to me. 25% on Canada and Mexico and only 10% on China. Yes. And also, don't forget that it was only 10% 100% on the natural gas coming out of Canada as well, because a lot of states in the Midwest heat their homes on this natural gas. So it was bullshit. That's what I'm saying. My whole point is these are our allies, and it was a whole lot of bullshit to make it seem like he had a win when they have offered him absolutely nothing that they had not already been doing or had agreed to do in the Biden administration. That's what I'm trying to say. Long way around it, but that's what I'm trying to say. Now let me show you this. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I want to show you this clip, and I want to ask you a question about this clip. You guys are probably like, how you going to ask us questions? You're supposed to be giving us the information. Okay, I want to ask you guys a question. Okay, so now this is in response to this big announcement that 4547 made about the U.S. taking over Gaza. Let me see. Okay. I like Joy Reid. I have problems with this person who's going to say something really ridiculous to me, and we're going to dissect this.
A stunner. I'm just assuming that there is a lot of reaction right now to what we just heard. Official reaction, please, Chair.
I mean, actually,
now she just went over the things that were said in that press conference that I showed you. So she wants his reaction.
To a few people, and there's just silence. I mean, let's be very Kushner making a passing remark, a seemingly passing remark back in March of Gaza having beautiful waterfront property. We have not heard the words of candidate Donald Trump or President Trump suggest the takeover of a land where millions of people call home, the moving them out and the taking over and the ownership of the United States. And I think that what this represents.
No, we have not heard the ownership of the United States, but he said the passing remark of Jared Kushner saying that it is good waterfront property. I know anybody who is regular over here on my channel have seen me play that clip at least 3 or 4 times. So did that seem like it was a passing remark that he was saying? Well, let's review that remark. This is what we're going to do. We're going to review that remark. And you have your for-profit media. No wonder MSNBC is fucking losing ratings. And this motherfucker is saying, oh, and other than that passing remark that we haven't heard. No, we haven't heard United States talking about we're going to own Gaza. No, we didn't hear any of that. But it was by far no passing remark. I think he was giving a sit-down interview at Harvard University where he was expounding on what he thought should be done with Gaza. It was no passing remark. Let me show you what it actually was. Let's review what really happened. As your for-profit media says, like, oh no, Jared said in a passing remark. Let's look at the actual things that Jared said. Okay, I'm gonna drop this link for you.
Harvard.
Uh-oh, hold on, I got a commercial. Oops. If you guys are not subscribed to the Majority Report, I think
Jared Kushner, who, as you know, is Donald Trump's son-in-law, but also was a special advisor to the president, worked on for, I guess it was like 15 minutes at the beginning of the...
Hold on. I got it going too fast. Okay, here we go.
who, as you know, is Donald Trump's son-in-law, but also was a special advisor to the president, worked on for, I guess it was like 15 minutes at the beginning of the Trump's term, solving the Israel-Palestine crisis. That's where it started out. Then it just moved on to him making a deal with the Saudis to finance his buildings and debt, and then also Saudis a framework for a mutual recognition with Israel, which ultimately sidelined any of the Palestinian interests. And many scholars and experts believe that was at least a significant part of the motivation for Hamas's attack on October 7th.
Didn't even gesture at the Palestinians, just pretended they didn't exist.
Just pretended they didn't exist and hoping that they would eventually just go away. Here in this interview from February 15th, from a video that was posted to YouTube by the Middle East Initiative at Harvard, here he is expressing a similar sentiment about them just going away.
Syria, when there's refugees, Turkey took them, Europe took them, Jordan took them. For whatever reason, here in Gaza, there's refugees from the fighting, from an offensive attack that was staged from Gaza. Israel's going in to do, a long-term deterrence mission. And it's unfortunate that nobody's taking the refugees.
But also there are real fears on the part of Arabs, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of them, who think once Gaza...
It's just, it's so bad that nobody's taking the refugees. So he is also saying that the people from Palestinian should be absorbed in Egypt or in Jordan. And it's real sad that no one's taking these refugees in. Why? Okay, now this was 10 months ago. 10 months ago. Okay, let's continue.
Leave Gaza, Netanyahu's never going to let them back
in. Maybe, but I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza.
Hold on, I cut that wrong.
Netanyahu's never going to let them back
in. Maybe, but I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. So
now this was 10 months ago. There was a whole lot left of Gaza 10 months ago, but they just kept on until a couple of days ago, pounding them. So 10 months ago, he said, Netanyahu letting him back in, maybe, but I just don't think there's much left of Gaza anymore. No, let's not put that out there. No, it's nothing left. What are they going to go back to? No, we don't want to even have that as a option. Let's continue.
If you think about even the construct, Gaza was not really a historical precedent, right? It was the result of a war, right? You had tribes that were in different places, then Gaza became a thing. Egypt, used to run it. And then, over time, you had different governments.
Now, this is the ignorance, a construct. It's not a construct. It's a land that belongs to the Palestinian people that they were pushed to because all of the rest of their land was encroached upon. Let's be clear. It was after World War II that the Jewish people settled in Palestine. Let's continue.
Governments that came in different ways.
All right, I'm sorry, pause it for a sec, because we just have to unpack some of this. So when he said there's no historical precedent, that's fairly incoherent. But what he means there is that we could transfer them to another place. Like Gaza, it just kind of was created by the Israeli government as an open air prison to house these people as their land was stolen. Like they could go somewhere else. And he'll get into that in a second. But how cavalierly he says, I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the genocide that's unfolding.
Right. And just also to make something clear that, first off, the existence of Gaza and people living there precedes the existence of the nation of Israel. We should just say.
You know who also precedes the nation of Israel? Joe Biden, older than the state of Israel. Okay.
Gaza is mentioned in Samson takes place in Gaza. the story of Samson. What are we talking about? It's a recent invention or whatever he said.
But again,
it's a construct. And it goes all the way back to biblical history. But no, it's just, it's just something that was put together because, people were moving around and, they settled here. No, motherfucker, it's not. Let's continue.
And like, what kind of precedent do you need to justify the fact that people live there and then have been now living there for 70 years because that was where they went when they became refugees because of their being pushed out of the other parts of Palestine, which ultimately became Israel. I mean, psychopath. But go back a little bit, and so we can.
Hold on. Before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team.
Okay, I had to make sure my mic was on. Okay, so when we get past this commercial, we're going to get to was it just a fleeting comment? So you see that he called himself having a actual argument about what he was saying. But we haven't gotten to what he said yet. Let's continue.
Right, you had tribes that were in different places, then Gaza.
Remember, he said that we may have heard Jared say it as a fleeting thought. Is this thought fleeting? And we haven't even gotten to the main nugget of what he was referring to that he said as a fleeting thought. Let's continue.
Became a thing. Egypt, used to run it, and then, over time, you had different governments that came in different ways. So you have another war. Usually when wars happen, borders are changed historically over time. And so my sense is I would say, how do we deal with the terror threat that is there, so that it cannot be a threat to Israel or to Egypt, right? I think that both sides are spending a fortune on military. I think neither side really wants to have, a terrorist organization enclave right between them. And Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. You think about all the money that's
Gaza is waterfront property. It could be very valuable to if people that don't make sense. It can be very valuable to if people. Okay, so he almost gave up the goat. Gaza is waterfront property. It could be very valuable, and then today you hear 45, 47 say what? That we are going. Who are these? What did Jared Kushner father do? A real estate developer. What was 45, 47? A real estate developer. Does this sounds like the words of government or real estate developer? Talking about Gaza, not talking about the people of Gaza, talking about the land and how valuable this land is. Okay, let's continue.
Pause it for 1 second. You notice, like, he at least had the tiny modicum of self-awareness when he said it could be valuable too, and then shifted when he realized, like, oh, wait a second. I don't want to give up my business plan.
This is the quiet part out loud. That this is what is widely understood, but not supposed to be said out loud, Jared.
And he realized, like, oh, wait a second, I just revealed my PowerPoint. Go back a little bit so that we can hear that again. I mean, this is none of this should be in any way surprising, but what is think of the level of how much of a sociopath you would have to be. I can understand people conceiving of this. Like, I can understand people robbing a bank, but announcing that you're robbing a bank, live streaming that you're robbing a bank. And this, of course, is even more horrific because of the actual sort of like death and suffering that's being created. But this guy is so oblivious, so sociopathic that he's actually saying this stuff out loud at this time. Like
the flesh of the children that he wants to build his luxury developments on hasn't even fully decomposed off of the bones. So he's not just doesn't want to just build this his real estate development on their skeletons, but on their literal corpses at this point.
I think neither side really wants to have, a terrorist organization enclave right between them. And Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterwards.
You saw Tom Friedman's column on Tuesday about where he put forward a plan to get out of this. Biden should
Okay, so I dropped the link You guys can peruse the rest of this video. It is if you have not joined the majority report. So remember, I told you that it was 10 years ago. Remember, we saw the person on Joey Reid's channel say, well, we've never heard this before. We heard this fleeting in Jared Kushner. No, Jared Kushner had a whole plan about, and his mouth was watering about how valuable that real estate was. But I'm not going to let you be lied to say that you have never heard this before, because I have played that clip, and I have also played this next clip for you. Okay. Now, this was 3 months ago. Remember, Jared Kushner's was 10 months ago. This was 3 months ago when 47 lied about having visited Gaza himself. He has never visited Gaza. We're going to make that clear. You're going to hear the host say, what? When did you go to Gaza? So this is a lie that he has been there. But let's hear what he said about Gaza just 3 months ago. And we are supposed
Donald Trump this morning went on.
And we are supposed to pretend that we've only heard this from Jared Kushner in a fleeting comment. This was 3 months ago that this aired. Let me reduce it so you don't have to for it. You see it right here, 28,000 views 3 months ago. So I've already played this for you guys once. I'm not going to let a motherfucker on MSNBC act as if we've never heard Trump say these things. Let's continue.
On Hugh Hewitt's program, and he was asked by the conservative talk show host, radio host, what his plans would be for Gaza, for the day after scenario. We keep hearing about the day after scenario where America, the pro-democracy imperial power, wants to decide who gets to govern the Palestinian people. Democracy. Anyway, here's Trump's plans.
You're a developer, so I want to talk to you about Gaza. I worked with land use developers for 35 years when I was actively practicing law. You know how to build things. Gaza is in ruins. Could Gaza be Monaco if it was rebuilt the right way? Could someone make Gaza into something that all the Palestinian people would be proud of, would want to live in, would benefit them?
It could be better than Monaco. It has the best location in the Middle East, the best water, the best everything. It is the best. I've said it for years. When I've been there, and it's rough. It's a rough place before the
You've been to Gaza
attacks and before.
Okay, he says I've been there and it's rough. It's rough. And then you hear the host chime in. You been to Gaza? Because he's never been to Gaza, but he just don't mind about lying. But he can pontificate real good about the property, the whole property of it all. Let's continue.
I've been there and it's rough. It's a rough place before the
You've been to Gaza?
Attacks and before back and forth. What's happened over the last couple years? And I said, "Wow, look at this! I mean, they have the back of a plant facing the."
I've been there, but before the bombing, and it's been bombing ever since they've been over there. Damn near, and he's been there, and it's such a beautiful place. Now, this is what he's talking about. It's such a beautiful place. If it was so beautiful, wouldn't you have tried to preserve it for the Gazan people, for the Palestinian people? Let me let y'all hear this. I'm talking too much, but I got to talk over this because I just can't play people's stuff. I'm using this under fair use for news reporting and educational purposes. Okay.
Ocean, they'd have. And I said, "Wow, look at this! I mean, they'd have the back of a plant facing the ocean. They'd have. There was no ocean as far as that was concerned. They never took advantage of it. As a developer, it could be the most beautiful place. The weather, the water, the whole thing, the climate. It could be so beautiful. It could be the best thing in the Middle East, but it could be one of the best places in the world. And, you know, there are other civilizations. I don't know if you know this. It's crazy, but that's been a rough neighborhood. That's been a rough place. You know, underneath that are two other civilizations where they were wiped out and they started over and they build on top.
So that's what you want to do right now. You want to remove all the people and you want to build on top again. That's what he wants to do. Build on top. Let's continue.
Amazing.
Oh, so we should do that. Okay, I want no, but that's insane. Just there are two other civilizations underneath. So we could start a new civilization over the one that's already there. Let's go back 10 seconds.
That are two other civilizations where they were wiped out and they started over and they build on top. It's amazing. I mean,
do you think your
been a very
partners
contentious area for a long time? I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Can you get the Abraham Accords going again and get your partners like UAE, Bahrain, and possibly Saudi to help you, and Egypt to help you in Gaza if you're president again, to rebuild it the right way and get rid of the fanatics?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I think not only the Abraham Accords, the Abraham Accords is one of the great things that's ever happened in the Middle East.
Yeah, which Biden is pursuing, by the way. The reason that Biden's policy has been such an absolute disaster in pushing forward Israel's genocidal aims is because he's pursued the Trump-era policy of the Abraham Accords, which is normalization between Saudi Arabia and other nations in the region with Israel without dealing with the, quote, Palestinian issue, which is the multi-decade military operation and military occupation and siege of Gaza, but also the military occupation of the West Bank.
Okay, so I dropped that link for you. You are more than happy to peruse it. Let me see what else I got. I wanted to tell you about who are these people who are these people? Oh, wait a minute. I got to let you see this first. I got to, who are Elon Musk's team of people? And I need you to hear what this 4547 says out of his mouth. Let me see. Is it? Let me see. What is it? Okay, let me find it. Here we go. And if you have not subscribed to
no one
this
seems
channel,
to know this, but Amazon.
please subscribe to this channel as well. It is a great channel to get honest, not-for-profit content. Let me get beyond that. Here we go. Let me make sure my speed is okay. My speed is too fast. Okay. Here we go.
You go. All right, friends, I want to play two clips from Donald Trump at the Oval Office just a few minutes ago being pressed about Doge, Elon Musk, and his team of like late teen, early 20s engineers, again, unelected, unaccountable, who have unprecedented and terrifying access to Treasury payment systems, including.
Now, he said late teens, early 20s is the ages of Musk's team. Now, let me take it back a hair about why he's concerned about this.
Unprecedented and terrifying access to Treasury payment systems, including, apparently, our Social Security numbers.
Thank you, Star. On Elon Musk, how often are you talking to him? And have there been ideas that he's brought to you that you said, oh, no, wait a minute, this is going a little too far?
Well, many ideas, but look, he's done a great job. Look at all the fraud that he's found in this U.S. AID. It's a disaster. What the people, radical left lunatics, they have things that nobody would have even believed. The whole thing with $100 million spent on you know what.
So he's referring again to condoms, the conspiracy theory, the lie, the debunked lie, that there have been $100 million spent on condoms. that, according to Donald Trump, were sent to Gaza, specifically to Hamas, a terrorist organization, that Hamas was then using to create bombs. So first it was $50 million in Hamas condom bombs, and now it's 100. Pure bullshit. It's a total lie.
Okay, so look at all the fraud that they've been in there for. I think they came in there Monday. What is today? Wednesday, and look at all the fraud that they found in there. So this is day 16 of his administration. They went in there. They may have made notice on Friday that they were didn't want them to come back in on Monday. I think they actually went in there on Monday. And this is yesterday. On Tuesday, he's talking about, look, we're gonna have to, it's a leftist organization. Look at all the fraud and abuse. And they spent 50 million on condoms. No, they spent 100 million on condoms, which has systematically been debunked and proven to be a lie that he's telling you. And he still is repeating the lie. Why? Because U.S. aid has a big fucking amount of money that the fucking Fox has the key to the hen house. Let's be clear. It also has a lot of information on Musk's competitors, allegedly. If they take over U.S. aid, they said that there have been 300 babies born in Africa because they cut off USD aid just in these few days, because they have the medication that they can give these pregnant women at birth to ensure that this is what I heard on the news. I'm not astute in the medical procedure. I know that all babies that are born, they give them drops in their eyes just in case the mother has some type of vaginal syphilis or chlamydia, which would render the child possibly blind if they catch it in their eyes. I don't know about the HIV/AIDS medication to how long that the parent has to be on it, the mother has to be on it to prevent HIV and AIDS. But at Merkley's it was after when all the congressmen were out there after they couldn't get into the Department of Treasury, the Oversight Committee of Congress couldn't get into the Treasury Department. It was Senator Merkley's. They called that his protest outside of the Treasury. One of the senators, not senators, one of the congressmen said that there had been 300 children thus far who were not giving their medication, and thus they have been born with HIV. That's where I got the information from. I'm going to drop that link for that protest. I'm sorry. I had to interrupt.
Donald Trump has lost the plot.
With money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money, with the money, I'd like to see what the kickbacks are. How much money has been kicked back? Who would spend that kind of money to some of the things that you read about and I read about?
I would like to see the kickbacks. But you already said that they are corrupt entity. So shouldn't you already have seen the kickbacks to make the claim that these are corrupt people over the USAID? Shouldn't you already know that I would like to see the information about the kickback? What kickbacks? Be specific. Let's continue.
Money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money. With the money, I'd like to see what the kickbacks are. How much money has been kicked back? Who would spend that kind of money?
They shouldn't deserve to get any money. But yet and still Congress has given them the money based upon what they presented to Congress, what the Democrats and Republicans of Congress who has the purse strings, has awarded them. But you, who has no control over the purse strings, said that they shouldn't have been given any money. Well, there's a way around that. If you don't want them to get the money, it's not by sending Elon Musk in with his crew of people. That's why we're here, to find out who these people are. Let's continue.
to some of the things that you read about and I read about and I see every night on the news and every morning when
I didn't read about any of this. Some of the things that you read about and I read about and I see on the news. Well, you're the president of the United States. Where are you getting this information on the news? Because the news is only recycling the bullshit that you're saying. You have access to intelligent agencies that can give you the actual facts, but you're going to say that, you know, that you heard about and I heard about and I see on the news. What sense is this idiot making about closing down a agency for fraud that shouldn't be getting any money because of what all I've seen on the news and you seen on the news? Are you fucking kidding me? Are people taking, and this is this is the leader of the free world saying this dumb shit. Let's continue.
I read the papers, who would spend money for that? I would say this: the people that got all that money, are they kicking it back to the people that gave it from government?
What kickback and to what? What fraud? What abuse? He can't name a damn thing because he's not involved. He's not paying attention. He is not engaging in any sort of oversight of Elon Musk. The only thing he was able to specifically mention were the $100 million in condoms. And again, it was a total lie. We have a rogue, unelected, unaccountable billionaire. And then even Fox News reporter Peter Doocy was pressing Trump about not just Elon Musk, but his team of unelected, unaccountable, unappointed engineers.
Some of these Doge engineers that Elon Musk has helping him are as young as 19 years
That's
old.
good. They're very smart, though, Peter. They're like you. They're very smart people.
Thank you. Have you met any of these guys?
No, I haven't seen them. They work actually out of the White House. They're smart people.
So even that, folks, let's just think about this. He hasn't met the people. He has not met the 19 or 20-year-olds that Elon Musk has handpicked, unelected, unaccountable, unappointed, Elon Musk has picked to probe the innermost workings of the United States Treasury. He has not met them. The president of the United States has not met them. Insane. And now they're working out of the White House. I thought.
And let's be clear, they also have not been upfront to tell us these people with all this unfettered access to the working systems of the American government, which they seem hell bent on destroying into a pile of chaos and destruction. If they even have the security clearance to even be allowed to see this information, that they allegedly are these are computer geeks. I see some of you say hackers, whatever we want to call them. They're tech boys. Two of them already had prior connection with Elon Musk working for X. So let me get to the point.
Thought Musk was kicked out of the White House by White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. Apparently, that was supposed to be the big pushback. That was supposed to be the counterpunch by Trump's advisors to stick it to Elon Musk and remind him who's boss. And now apparently they're reversing course and letting Musk and his team back into the White House. Musk has totally intimidated and outplayed Donald Trump.
Now, yes, Susie Wiles did allegedly sit Musk down and said that he will not be reporting directly to 4547. He would be reporting to her, and that he thought that he was going to have offices in the White House, but they put his Doge offices across the street at the Eisenhower building. But now, here it is today. He's telling you that they work out of the White House, but he ain't never met them. He don't know shit about them. Let's continue.
Unlike what they do in the control towers, where we need smart people, we should use some of them in the control towers where we were putting people there.
So we should put some of them in the control towers. He means aircraft controllers. So what experience now, just because the Elon Musk use them and they're very smart people and we should put some of them in the control, what experience do they have in air traffic controlling? Just because they're smart white men does not mean that they have experience in air traffic controlling. And they say that Biden didn't have all of his faculties. Let's continue.
That were actually intellectually deficient. That was one of the qualifications, is you could be intellectually deficient. No, we need smart people. Some are young and some are not young. Some are not young at all, but they found.
Did you hear what he just said? Some are young and some are not young. Some are not young at all. So I wanted you to hear him say this from his mouth of people he admits he has never met. Okay, let me let you.
Some are young and some are not young. Some are not young at all, but they found you could be intellectually deficient. No, we need smart people. Some are young and some are not young. Some are not young at all, but
some are young, some are not young, some are not young at all. Okay, I think, is that it? That I may.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, so how does a 61-year-old?
There may be a little bit more I want you to see in this one. Let me. Now, yes, I do want you to see this. So he said, some are young, some are not young, some are not young at all. So he doesn't know who these people are. They had questions about who these people are. And somebody wrote a comment on X disclosing the name of the people. And you know what? This guy said let me get to it. This guy wrote on Twitter that a 25-year-old a 25-year-old Musk engineer was has, let me enlarge this, has right access to treasury systems that control on a granular level government payments that is in their totality amount to more than a fifth of the U.S. economy. Literally trillions of dollars move through these systems. And he went further to disclose the name of this person. You know what Elon Musk wrote under this comment? You have just committed a crime. Now, these people are allegedly working for Musk, who allegedly has a position in the White House. But the actual nerve of this guy to mention the name of the person, Elon Musk's reply, it was, you have just committed a crime. And they are the ones who are committing crime. So he really didn't want you to know the names of these people who were working with them. These 19 to 25-year-old people were sending out notices for people who worked in their position in the Treasury for over 40 years. You're fired. What do they even know about the Treasury? They know an ideology that has been they have been brainwashed with, and they are willing to think that they are doing a good thing because I'm working for the richest man in the world. You know what you can do with a mushy mind like that? A motherfucking computer nerd who has no one ever paid attention to him except in when he went to the science fairs where he excelled and all this type of stuff. The richest man in the world wants me to work side by side with him to bring down this oppressive left-wing government. You know, you get the dumb ones to go out there and try to block the peaceful transition of power. That's what you get the dummies to go out there and do. But you get the smart ones to come in here and do whatever. Just like you got the dumb ones to go out there and do whatever. Let's continue. This is what I wanted you to see.
As we discussed in a previous video. This is breaking news from Wired. Rigorous training. But it was Donald Trump's own pilot program. He doesn't want you to know that. We discussed that in a previous video. Stunning. The lie. Personnel. Now, I would argue a reference to those who are intellectually incapable, referencing a program that was launched by Donald Trump in April of 2019. It was Donald Trump, when he was president the first time, who launched a pilot program for people with targeted disabilities to work as FAA personnel, including air traffic. Now,
see, that's another thing. He keep on saying that I read this policy and it says that, it could accept people who were intellectually this, that, and the other. That was his own policy. So the next time you hear him come out here and say that the FAA policy that he was working, that people were working, allow people with disabilities and who was not intellectually inept, who were intellectually inept. That was his actual policy. And he's trying to act like that was Biden's policy. No, that was his own policy that he reads from. And he was confronted with it at a press conference. And he said, no, that was Obama's policy. They said, no, that was your policy. And no, I changed the policy after I came in with Obama. Yeah, you changed it to that. And Biden changed it back. And I changed it again when I just came back in office. He's lying. He's a obtuse liar. But that ain't what I want you to hear. But I did want you to know that.
I would argue, according to the website, according to the release, that they were put through rigorous training. But it was Donald Trump's own pilot program. He doesn't want you to know that. We discussed that in a previous video. Stunning. The lies, the rambling, the incoherence, the total admission that he has no control or oversight over Elon Musk. Yeah, I haven't met these people. No, I don't know what's going on. No, I don't know who they are. Insane. And I'll remind you, because we discussed it in a previous video. This is breaking news from Wired. A 25-year-old Musk engineer has write access, not RIGHT, but write as in write, the ability to edit access to Treasury systems that control on a granular level government payments that in their entirety or in their totality amount to more than a fifth of the U.S. economy. It's housed on a top secret mainframe. These systems control on a granular level government payments that in their totality amount to more than a fifth of the U.S. economy. Administrator privileges. Typically, those administrator privileges give someone the power to log into servers through secure shell access, navigate the entire file system, change user permissions, and delete or modify critical files that could allow someone to bypass the security measures of and potentially cause irreversible damages to the very systems they have access to. A 25-year-old Elon Musk engineer.
And they are out here telling you that they only have a right to see, to look. But this is telling you all the things that they can do in the Treasury system. Let's be clear. While they're out here saying that they have a right to just view them, let's see what this person has said about these actual people. Again, be clear.
In a fifth of the U.S. economy. It's housed on a top secret main. 5-year-old Musk engineer has write access, not RIGHT, but write as in write, the ability to edit access to Treasury systems that control on a granular level government payments that in their entirety or in their totality amount to more than a fifth of the U.S. economy. It's housed on a top secret mainframe. These systems control on a granular level government payments that in their totality amount to more than a fifth of the U.S. economy. Administrator privileges. Typically, those administrator privileges give someone the power to log into servers through secure shell access, navigate the entire file system, change user permissions, and delete or modify critical files that could allow someone to bypass the security measures of and potentially cause irreversible damages to the very systems they have access to. A 25-year-old Elon Musk engineer that Donald Trump has never met. The vast majority of payments, though, including federal tax returns, Social Security benefits, supplemental security income benefits, and veterans pay, flow through the Federal Disbursement Service, which, according to Treasury records, paid out $5.45 trillion in fiscal year 2024. The BFS, a nonpartisan body, is charged with directing this money appropriately, moving it from government accounts to recipients. The PAM and SPS are the mechanisms through which the money is paid out. This guy has access to it. The source says that they're concerned that the data could be passed from secure systems to Doge operatives within the General Services admission. This is stunning.
They're concerned that this information can be transferred from the Treasury Department to Doge Department. Do you hear what I'm saying? Veterans payment too. Am I a veteran? Am I reporting on this because I'm a veteran? No, I'm not. Am I reporting on it all the other areas that can be affected because I'm a benefit from these things? No, I'm not. nor do I have to be. See, because reporting on news is not no motherfucking beef sector bullshit. But I guess a motherfucker who don't even know the inner workings of their fucking government can only wind it down to some beef sector dumb shit. Let's continue.
Again, it comes from a 25-year, the Wired article, which says the headline: a 25-year-old with Elon Musk ties has direct access to the federal payment system. That he has admin privileges over the code that controls Social Security payments, tax returns, and more. And Donald Trump has never met him, does not know this person. And they're working out of the White House after previously kicking Elon Musk out of it. Apparently, he's back in. And Donald Trump is totally out to lunch on this. Friend of the show and Democratic Congressman Dan Boldman is sounding the alarm. Elon Musk gave Trump $250 million. So Trump handed him control of America's checkbook. Musk and his 20-something Doge cadre can now access your Social Security number, home address, and more. This is unprecedented corruption, an invasion of privacy, and a threat to national security, all in one. Other friend of the show and Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost said nobody voted for Elon Musk, yet this unelected billionaire has access to Treasury data, Social Security checks, Medicare benefits, tax refunds, and the personal info of millions of Americans. Everyone should be very alarmed. Yeah, they should be. This is where we are. This is, and it's the fire hose. This is the issue. Donald Trump is taking a page out of Steve Bannon's playbook. Shock and awe. A fire hose.
Okay, so I dropped the link for that. Now let's meet Elon Musk's team. Let's meet the team. And after those post where they gave all the information that Elon Musk's team was over, Elon Musk said, "You just committed a crime to that person. You just committed a crime." He said that person just committed a crime. We heard 45, 47 just said that some are young, some are not so young, and some are really not so young. So this dunce doesn't even know these people. So that's do you see any of these people who look like they are not so young? Which of these 6 people do you see on here look like they are not so young? Or do you see people who look like they could be between 25 and 27? Elon Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency has recruited 7 young engineers aged between 19 and 25 who now have access to some of the federal government's classified and sensitive system files and information. They have the group has reportedly gained access to the Treasury Department payment system. The department is tasked with cutting trillions of dollars in federal spending by eliminating programs and agencies. So they want to cut trillions. We have the names of the people. Gavin Klinger, 25 years old. He worked at the AI company Databricks before joining Doge. I think it was one more person. Okay. Marco Iles. He is 25 years old. He graduated from Rutgers University and worked as an engineer for X and SpaceX, according to Wired. Luke Ferrator, whatever, I can't, is a 23-year-old, and he has ties to Musk and Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, the other South African billionaire. And you wonder why we looking and the pockets behind J.D. Vance, Senate run. J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, Peter Thiel, who was in the front row of the inauguration ceremonies. Okay, so he worked for Musk and Peter Thiel. This Luke guy, 23 years old. Edward Constantine is the youngest in the group of Doge employee at just 19. He's studying at the Northeastern University in Boston and completed a summer internship at Musk's brain-computer interface startup Neuralink. Akash Baba, a 21-year-old, is listed as an expert within the Office of Personnel Management. After graduating from UC Berkeley, okay, Baba worked at a hedge fund at Bridgewater Associate, Meta, and Teal's Plantar. So he has a connection to who? Peter Thiel, who? The billionaire, who was sitting front row at the inauguration. Ethan, 22, founder of AI-driven startup computer science at a senior at Harvard University, has past affiliation with Musk, having participated in a hackathon held by us. He has. Wait a minute. He has had a past affiliation with Musk, having participated in a hackathon held by Musk's AI company. He's on the team. He is on the team. That somebody who Musk met at his hackathon, hacking event that Musk held. Okay. Are we clear? Gautier Code Kilman, 23. He's a volunteer after working for a computerized training firm. Okay, he graduated high school in 2019 and studied at McGill University in Canada. That is the team of people who have access, and they have not told you if they have clearance to have such access. I'm going to drop the link for this article. Read up. Elon Musk said that it was against the law that somebody had actually did a crime in giving you, the public, the information of these 19 to 25-year-old who have association with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk to the point of his hackathon event that he held. These are the people. So this is the information that I wanted to give you. I agree with you. They need to definitely draft up the 25th Amendment right now. I definitely agree with you on that. Hey, Real Mama Fifi. Hey, everybody who came in. Please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. That is something else. Lordy. Huh? Yeah. It's a lot of serious stuff going on. Ronnie Q, these government officials can find to the penny what I owe in taxes. I'm nobody, but they can't find other CIT city. I don't know what that means. CITI. He wants part of the kickback. Hey, Pretty Black TV. Good morning to the host and chat. Good morning to you as well. Excuse me if I didn't see you guys come in. Hackers. Truth and Reason. Yes, you were on to it. Yes, you were definitely on to it. So, excuse me if I sound intense, but this is just some of the information that I wanted to share with you guys today, because it is a lot going on. Okay, so I shared all my links with you. Anybody have anything else that they would like to questions, comments, or anything? So thank goodness Occupy Democrats, they did a Instagram post that breaking news: 16 brave federal agents strike back against Donald Trump's corruption by against his Department of Justice and FBI to stop his planned retaliation against them. MAGA world never saw this one coming. The agents are currently still working for the government, but say that a review being conducted of those who worked on the January 6th insurrection cases and is groundwork for retaliation against them. The agents unleashed their lawsuit right before the noon deadline that the FBI had to deliver responses to a 13-question survey about agents' work on the cases to the Justice Department. So right before the deadline, they was like, fuck you, question this lawsuit. Okay. So the survey asks agents whether or not they conducted surveillance, collected evidence, arrested individuals, or testified in court. So all of the agents had to answer these questions. So there could be retribution against them for if they had arrested individual, testified in court, did surveillance on the January 6th insurrectionists. Do you get this shit? So they answered the questions. They filed a lawsuit. Plaintiffs reasonably fear that all or parts of this list might be published by allies of President Trump, thus placing themselves and their families in immediate danger of retribution by the now paroled and at-large January 6th convicted felons, it adds. A second lawsuit filed by 7 other agents states that the review is a political vigilante effort by those who they were investigating. The agents are right to be suspicious. Donald Trump is purging our government of anyone who respects the rule of law while simultaneously staffing it with loyalist MAGA goons. This is a hostile takeover of America, and it cannot be allowed to proceed uncontested. So this is a link on the IG page of Occupy Democrats. Okay. So that's all I have. That's all I have to share with you today. Let me see. Okay. I'm not going to share this one. It would be redundant. So what do you guys have? Anything? Nothing? Nothing. Okay. So I think that was a lot of information for today. In response to Red Wing hockey, what can we do today? It's going to seem like we're going to have a lot to do. This is day 16. Let's understand that Project 2025 said that it would be possible that we, the whole United States, would be under martial law, allegedly. By the end of this first 180 days, that they were going to come in and make sweeping changes and to fulfill the vision of the next conservative president. And let's understand that one of the EO's executive orders that the president has already signed was that our American military can be policing our streets, i.e. in the executive orders signed about the undocumented people that they were trying to send back. So that order has already been signed. One of the things that Project 2025 also stated is that the president will be given the authority to use the American military to quell or squash down any protest. So I think the only remedy, it seems to be, if the 25th Amendment is not enacted and voted upon, and we have so many cowards in Congress and the Senate on the Republican side, because they're so afraid that Elon Musk will put someone up to primary against them, and that they as a person, one person, an individual, will lose their job, their position of power and access to power, and hobnobbing with power power that they are falling lockstep. Imagine if this had been Barack Obama who was doing all these things. Imagine if Barack Obama had put someone allegedly as a part of the government, and they bought a whole lot of 19 to 25-year-old young black men and took over the Treasury and the USIDA and the what is, I forget, the department that is basically the HR, human resources of the federal government. I forget the name of that department. What would they be saying then? Trust and believe. You have and look who's over the military. The man who, during his confirmation hearings, when he was asked if 4547 gave him an illegal order, would he do it? He said, "I will follow the law." When they specifically said, well, 4547 told the last Department of Defense to shoot the protesters, couldn't he shoot the protesters in the leg? And Hedgwick would not answer that question. What he said was, "I was there, and you should have saw those people. They were climbing fences, and they set a fire at the church." No, all the protesters didn't do that. These agitators, some agitators did that. So you're not answering the question. Would you take the order to shoot protesters in the leg? And he never said he would not do it. So let's be clear. Why do you think that they want loyalists in these positions in the first place? Pete Hedgwick ran the budget of these small little veterans nonprofits in the ground. But they're going to put him over the Department of Defense, which has an $850 billion budget. Why do you think they want loyalists in these positions? So, I right now, information is the power that we have. And if we're walking around worrying about the intimate details of motherfuckers in the beef sector who don't vote, who don't know their government, who do not know the peril that this country is in, we're doomed. So that's why I feel it's important to give out information. If you have any other information that you want to share, you want to counter, you're more than welcome. But I'm just giving out the information. I'm sure that you guys have not heard about a lot of these things that are going on in Black nations. The bombing in Somalia. I'm pretty sure none of you have heard about 4547 talking about something must be done in South Africa because the South African president is making sure he disperse land for public use, but it's being frowned upon as if the white people are being done so badly. After decades of apartheid, did you ever hear him complain about how black people were being done in apartheid? But oh my God, don't talk about land. Do not talk about giving black people land. Do not talk about taking white people's land. And I don't hear any qualms or complaints from this developer about the rich taking people land. Let's see. People are not important. It's access and money. They need to exactly. Obama would never be allowed to do what these fools are doing. But you have to understand that a lot of these people who are in the military, let's not forget that a lot of military and former military people were at the Capitol during the insurrection. Capiche? Capiche? We're talking about the American military, where they want to root out DEI by its root. Because how dare there be black generals? They have the military has pushed down its requirements. Why? Because there's so many black generals. How dare they? And it's all DEI. So this is the military that you hope don't follow a psychopath? Hey, I don't know. I don't know. I definitely agree with that. So this is the last thing that I will share with you guys. Somebody look down in Buddy Lee's chat and start calling my name out specifically. Called my name out because of what I said in the chat, that they were lying, that they were over in Room Shakers Live while their alleged husband was right there by them. And then they read what I said. I'll let you hear. I'm going to let you hear what actually happened on Room Shakers Live. And I'm going to let you hear what the same person said on Buddy Lee's live when something was brought to her attention. See, I don't give a fuck if this ugly, bad built body bitch is mad at me for catching her in her lie. I don't give zero fucks. And while this fucking bitch sitting up talking about who needs a diet plan, bitch, you look like a bloated old black fucking gator who can eat a whole motherfucking human, you fat sloppy melted face bitch. Are you serious? Are you serious? You're mad about me telling the truth about you? Are you serious? So I'm not gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna do like Billie Jean did. I'm going to let you hear the lying bitch lie out of her own lying mouth. And she got so mad that she hopped off their link and did a whole live talking about Ronnie Q. Bitch, Ronnie Q wears size 14. Bitch, you ain't wore a size 14 since you've been 14, ho. So and had the audacity to call somebody fat. Bitch, you think we ain't seen you with them titties slanging down all the way to your motherfucking waist? Bitch, you calling somebody fat when a fat bitch don't come and get you on all types of bullshit and telling lies on Yaya and threatening violence on Yaya and talking about how sick and Yaya is when you allegedly and I do say allegedly have the same illness that Yaya has, bitch. I got my appointment with Ben today. I got my appointment today. I be tired when I come for my appointment. Okay, bitch, whatever. I'm going to let you hear from the, I was about to say horse's mouth, but I do mean the gator's mouth. I'm going to let you hear from her own mouth why she was mad. So this is the first one is going to be Room Shakers, and the second one, that's the one on top up here, and then the second one is going to be from Lady Law's channel. Let's listen to hear.
I took me a nap. That's the reason why I'm still up, but I'm finna get ready to crawl up in this bed, turn his ass over so he can stop snoring. Girl, I miss having my bed to myself.
I know you didn't, because if you had your bed to yourself, what would you do with your man? You would be lonely.
I don't know. He don't never give me a chance to figure that out. You probably right, though. I'd be like, come on, come back home. Because, baby, but I do miss laying in my bed by myself, though, sometimes. I be wanting to sprawl out. And when I get in that bed, he wrap up around me like an anaconda. Like that some nights. I want to just be free.
I'm shaking. They saying she was on your panel in the middle of the night.
What's up, Layla?
Oh, that night that I was on Room Shaker all night long. Yeah, he was out of town, boo. And I was
No, they talking.
Didn't she just say she needs to roll her man over? Let's understand that this was a 10 live that she set up with Room Shaker all night. A bitch who tried to throw a shot out. My man wouldn't let me be up on YouTube all night. My man wouldn't let me go live at 4 o'clock in the morning. This is a 10-hour live. A 10-hour live that this bitch said now this is the second receipt that I gave you. And you also realize she denied doing a late night, early morning live. And I'll show you those receipts on her own channel. This is on Room Shaker's channel. This is a 10-hour live where she says this.
Took me a nap. That's the reason why I'm still up. But I'm finna get ready to crawl up in this bed, turn his ass over so he can stop. Girl, ooh.
Do what? Turn his ass over so he can stop snoring. Do you hear any snoring behind this bitch? I don't hear no snoring, but that's what she said. She's going to turn him over. So that means that your man ain't out of town. But then when faced with the fact that, bitch, you sit up on YouTube all night long. Let's continue.
I miss having my bed to myself.
I know you didn't, because if you had your bed to yourself, what would you do with your man? You would be lonely.
I don't know. He don't never give me a chance to figure that out. You probably right though. I'd be like, come on, come back home, cause baby. But I do miss laying about being by myself though. Sometimes I be wanting to sprawl out, and when I get in that bed, he wrap up around me like an anaconda. See, I don't like this.
Yeah, I hear that in Florida there's a big thing with people letting their wild anaconda out in the what do they call that? I was finna say the brush, into the Everglades, and there has been a whole lot of gator versus anaconda fights and things like that. I can believe that. She understands that anacondas and are always trying to wrap themselves around gators, being a gator croc bitch. So let's continue.
Some nights I want to just be free.
I'm shaking. They saying
now here she is on Lady Law's channel. Looking down at the chat and seeing me say she's lying. She said that her man was right there with her. So let's continue.
And she was on your panel in the middle of the night.
What's up, Layla?
Oh, I don't be on panels in the middle of the night. Now, of these other people in the chat had heard her own live in the middle of the night. And then this is what Lady Law is addressing. And then I said she was on Room Shaker live in the middle of the night. What is she talking about? So this is what Lady Law is asking her. She read that in the chat and she stated it on her channel. So the bitch couldn't pretend like she didn't see what was going on in the chat. But then after that, it was Ronnie Q this, Ronnie Q that, and then jumping down and going live on talking about what Ronnie Q had written in the bitch saw what was being said in the chat all along. But let's continue.
That night that I was on Room Shaker all night long.
That night when I was on Room Shaker's night panel all night long, the bitch who had just said that I can't be on no panels all night long. So now how is she going to, now that it has been brought to her attention, what is she going to say?
Yeah, he was out of town, boo. And I was.
No, they talking about when you was on mine.
No, that's what somebody said in the chat. Yeah, they said she was on your show in the middle of the night, but she's saying that he wasn't there. So, yeah.
He wasn't there. Everybody that know my dude know what he do, and they know that sometimes he's out of town. So when I was able to stay up on Room Shaker that night, yeah, I was wilding out. But go to my channel and do a live that time of morning? Hell no. You think he can't look and see when I was live?
Let's go back to Room Shakers live when you hear her say, "Oh, when I was on Room." Let's go back to the
Room Shaker. That's the reason why I'm still up, but I'm finna get ready to crawl up in this bed, turn his ass over so he can stop.
Crawl up in the bed and do what? Turn his ass over so what?
No, girl, oh, I miss having my.
So he could stop snoring. Girl, I wish I could have my bed by myself again, because sometimes I just want to stretch out. This lying ass bitch. But go to her own channel and do a live. Oh, yes. Hey, good morning, Silky Black. Yes, I was on Room Shaker's panel because he was out of town. No, never mind everybody hearing that he was over there knocked out. Me saying 1,000,000 times that he's over there knocked out. She said that shit about 100 times on Room Shaker Lives and gets up and say, "Oh no, he was at." Everybody knows. No, everybody. What everybody knows is you a motherfucking lying ass bitch. Everybody knows. Okay, so, but to go on my channel and go live in the middle of the night. So what's this live? Late in the midnight hour. Den Talk. Okay. That is the name of the video. And what is she saying? What is the transcript saying? That this bitch is saying, "Girl, I was trying to be on YouTube, girl. This man over now." This man over here went to sleep and he's in the fetal position. Girl, they tried to say I was old, but I put that on him. Okay, and what else is she saying? She said, "I can't believe I've been kicking it with y'all and it's 4 o'clock in the morning." So when she first came on talking about the man over fetal position, and she put that they say I'm old, but you only as old as you think. Child, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And so she was then on she's saying at the 1 hour and 2 second 1 hour 2 minute and 28 seconds, "I can't believe I've been kicking with y'all and it's 4 o'clock in the morning." But what did she so let's this is her own channel. I let you hear her lie and say that she wasn't up on Room Shaker's channel all night, but when it was discovered, she go, "Oh, well, he was out of town."
I took me a nap. That's the reason why I'm still up, but I'm finna get ready to crawl up in this bed, turn his ass over so he can stop snoring. Girl, oh, I miss having my bed to myself.
I know you didn't, because if you had your bed to yourself, what would you do with your man? You would be lonely.
I don't know. He don't never give me a chance to figure that out. You probably right though. I'd be like, come on, come back home, cause baby. But I do miss laying in my bed by myself though. Sometimes I be wanting to sprawl out, and when I get in that bed, he wrap up around me like an anaconda. See, I don't like that some nights. I want to just be free.
Room Shaker, they saying she was on your panel in the middle of the night.
What's up, Layla?
Oh, that night that I was on Room Shaker all night long. Yeah, he was out of town, boo. And I was.
No, they ain't talking about when you was on mine.
No, that's what somebody said in the chat. Yeah, they said she was on your show in the middle of the night, but she's saying that he wasn't there. So, yeah,
he wasn't there. Everybody that know my dude know what he do, and they know that sometimes he's out of town. So when I was able to stay up on Room Shaker that night, yeah, I was wilding out. But go to my channel and do a live that time of morning? Hell no. You think he can't look and see when I was live? Are you kidding me? Come on, y'all. I took me a nap. That's the reason why I'm still up. But I'm finna get ready to crawl up in this bed, turn his ass over so he...
No, we're not kidding you. We're not kidding you at all, bitch. We busting you in your motherfucking lies, ho. That's all right, guys. Please hit the like button on your way out. If you want to support the channel, $sign Ronnie Q. I'm just trying to give you a little information and some news that you can use. Share the video out if you choose. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. And that's it, and that's all. That's all I got for you guys on today. So that's it. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Who can compare with Ronnie Q? So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air. It's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few. Who can compare with Ronnie Q? So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air. It's time for Ronnie Q.